Forever got it, my baby in blue Maserati. Sweet shake shake, my baby. Sweet shake shake, my baby. When we first met the second best way, I just pressed up on it. The world stopped and it led us to the best of moments. I asked you once if you were sure if this was this you wanted, and then we cuddled all night until the break of morning. And no sense of context, exchange eye contact. I found myself within you, the divine I met. My twin flame cuddle me, had me feeling lovely. A feeling that I never felt and I never wanna leave. I asked your mother, can I marry you? Cause that's how much I really cherish you. The bond we share is incomparable. There's been some variables of high and lows, but I'm not feeling you. So please don't listen to them bars when they tell you stuff. Pointing out all of my flaws, trying to tear you up. Even on our worst of days, they don't compare to us. Want us to break up, them folks some haters. I'm never going nowhere. If it's not you, then I ain't got nobody. I pressed up on you and put my
Let it wash over everybody.
It's a question
Just
on my heart, do you forever got it?
there it
No doubt
is.
about it.
She
The
did.
one that's
She said she would marry him. That's what she said. Or whoever she's talking to. She just is showing un unparalleled effort, and that's appreciated here. I'm on a mission to find the songs where the women ladies is talking to us nicely. I feel like it's necessary. I feel like we all deserve it. Just I'm here for those of you like there's all those that are talented, and I'm here for it and everything. But if I can find the ones where she's saying, and I don't need begging, I'm not begging. I don't want none of that fucking yeah. I don't need any of that from you. I just need like, wow, man, really, I really fuck with dog. He's a dope nigga, and I'm very happy to be with him. He's amazing, and it just feels good. Like
Oh, you mean ladies that give men bouquets?
yeah, I've grown a penchant now for finding, every now and again, just songs that like, hey, that's nice. And I'm not just I don't need to be it's not like ego stroking songs. I don't even really like those that much. If they it's
called
just
validated.
yeah, just appreciation, just like wow, this is a dope nigga, man. And I'm happy that my nigga's dope. And I'm gonna tell the world my nigga's dope. This is a dope nigga, guys. They out here and there's a thing for it, and goddamn it, I'm gonna find it because I'm not gonna hold you. I don't know. I feel like uh y'all just might have just like way stronger dispositions than me, but I get tired of hearing that shit. And I'm very this across the board because I told y'all like no disrespect to the man. It was a good sonically pleasing album, but I didn't listen to Future's album more than like for 2 days. I just get tired of that shit after a while. Yeah, I need some shit. Talk to me nicely. I be trying to talk to myself nicely. I just feel like, it's healthy, you know. Um I'll be trying to like dump on everybody, but like,
No, no, go ahead. I mean,
no.
that's the first part of the show. That's what it's for, to go ahead and just
Trying to
release some of the frustration that you got.
yeah, just trying to, trying to help the community, man. Like the nervous system is a thing. I mean, I'm not I know it's some of y'all is like, learning doctors and shit, but like the nervous system is a thing. And like just should be fucking with stuff. Just
You
it's
got a system that reacts whenever I feel nervous? No,
crazy, man.
that's not
Like
the same thing. It's a little bit different than that.
hyper arousal, arousals. It's a lot.
Some of that can come just from words of affirmation and validation. It's funny how some of that can get stimulated in positive ways that just make you feel wonderful.
I know this. I know some of them like experiments that you see on like I don't know, man. Pick a page that's talking about interesting, weird news. But there was that experiment where that like I want to say he was Japanese, but don't quote me. And he like had like I think it was like either three plants or three like things of rice or something.
Oh yeah.
And he like came in, said positive things to one, yelled at one, and said nothing to the other one, and it like affected how
Their
they
growth
grew.
pattern. Yep.
Yeah, yo, like I don't know, man. Words matter. Like all of it matters. Like I'm here for the chaos still. I just be like, yo, you gotta do that shit in doses. If you were like across the board, every time I get in the car with you, it is like motherfucker kill me, dead. I know we had this music rant a lot, but I'm gonna keep saying it because it's just a lot. Every time I get in the car, it's a whole lot of like these niggas ain't shit. I'm like, yo, y'all know this is like it's just messing with your brain. Because it messed with my brain. I'm like, I'm not saying this. I'm not here's the thing. I don't even be saying this shit, judging y'all. I'm experimenting on myself. I'm like, Bruce Banner daddy. Like I'm just shooting myself up full of like mental experiment shit. And I'm like, I'm way more like depressed or anxious or irritable when I listen to this all the time. This is crazy. Cause I've said a lot of like Brent Faiyaz shit. I think bro sounds sonically pleasing. Like I'll blast. I can get in the mood and be like, oh yeah, this is good. And I'll be listening like, damn, I can't listen to this. Sheesh.
I think I'm a little bit too left brain with some of that stuff because
I get
anything
in
that
those
just
spaces.
logically doesn't like. Oh, I heard this. This sounds good. What he said, this ain't make no sense. Turn this off.
Yeah, I get in those spaces. Like if it's a song or if I'm like listening, it's cool, but I can't. I've noticed lately I can't do like 2 or 3 back to back. Like I can do one and I'm like, oh, I like this one. Or if I'm like I get like in a pinch and if I'm like just chilling and I'm like maybe cleaning up some stuff or whatever, I like find the I don't know, I put them on the page. I put like those like reverb versions, and I'm like, oh, this is cool, this is vibe. And then I'll hear it, and that'd be the weird thing. Somebody will find the worst line, and that'll be the part that keeps playing over and over. And that's when I'll be like, because that shit fuck with you, or it fuck with me, man. Yeah, it get up in there. Like you be, I've noticed that even with like content. So I'm like, okay, if I'm noticing it, and I feel like I'm not above it, but like you just kind of make yourself aware of it. It's like, damn, I was doing this, this, and this. And I done posted like 3 things about, or I'm hyper aware. I wouldn't even say posted. I'll be just hyper aware of like what comes in my feed and it'd be like, these bitches. And they'd be like, oh shit. Why do I care about this? Iron Man's on this thing and he's drawn by Alex Ross. I don't care about this shit. Like,
no. My name is not Knuckles or Sonic. I am not looking for chaos.
Good bar.
It's just not, no.
Complete sidebar. Like, there's a new Sonic coming out. It looks brilliant.
The third one?
Whatever that, like I think they're like next genning it, and it looks. I haven't bought a Sonic in years. Like I haven't bought a Sonic since like Dreamcast.
Oh, you're talking about a game. Oh yeah, Sonic has quietly put out games over the years. Not Sonic. He's not put his games, but Sega has put out Sonic games quietly for years, and they all look progressively nice each and every time.
I think some like. When I see like little memes and shit and people go like whatever, like some of the storylines have been made, but I think they've been targeted at children. But this one looks like, oh, y'all are trying to capitalize off this movie success. Y'all trying to make a Sonic.
As they should.
All right. Yeah, I could do that.
Bring back all the good stuff. Bring back the cartoon too. That was my shit.
Cartoon was the shit.
Cartoon was the shit. Well, one of the cartoons was the shit.
That's true.
A couple of them was not.
I can stand on a few of these too. This is because like you ever go back and like I've gone back and watched a couple of them like as an adult. Because you watch some things that know like this was sucks. Yeah. Some things I was like, yo, this was good. Like I can deal with this. This is not nostalgic good. Like I still like the old X-Men cartoon. And also I realized certain things are like I realized why like I thought you think your parents watched them because like they was watching with you. I was like, oh, this is intense. This is dramatic as shit. Oh my God, man, are you gonna cry, Logan? Damn, this nigga wouldn't even watch. I thought we was bonding, Pop. You was watching this shit for you. I thought we was having a moment. You up here like, man, shut up. Boy, I don't care about them claws. This is a tense moment, man. He's going through trauma.
You left the room, got distracted. He's still sitting there.
Man,
Daddy, come play. It's not over yet. Come sit down and watch the rest of the show. You asked to watch this. Sit down here and wait till it's over.
Did you not know, man? Charles has a son. This is deep.
God damn it. You said people out there watching Coco Melon because they enjoy it as opposed to get paying it for their kids.
Watch it. Somebody up there thinking they has gone their whole child's life talking about Adventure Time. And then them flashbacks hit Ice King and it was crying. Ice King and the vampire, it was crying.
Adventure Time wasn't for kids.
At all. Like, at all.
Not even a little bit. How many cartoons would you say are actually for kids?
I feel like you have to damn near go straight down to the ones that are like the really kiddie ones with the little boop songs. Because once you start
junior status,
because once you start getting into like cartoons, it's like they're playing on some themes here, and then that's why I have like this like going conspiracy that like to dull the minds because every like everything is like there's valid reasons for like the hero to like get rid of the villain, and then it's like you watch like obviously you can't show kids like death, but it's like this is a bit much because this person deserved. We don't do this, and it's like our country be blowing people up, so like we do this. Like we do this a lot for people who do a lot less, which you're kind of teaching them like to never kind of fight back where they need to, and that's a little wrong. Just saying.
Propaganda.
Yeah, that'd be my own little thing. But other than that, like yeah, they just be they be talking about some stuff. I feel like it's a good way to sprinkle. Like for me too, I feel like sometimes it's because you have all these like okay, I was having like a Disney moment and I watched the movie Red finally. I've always like started and fell asleep. But I remember all the backlash that movie got because there were mentioned periods. And I was like, also, if you're a goofy and you can't talk to your daughter about how do we talk to our kids about with your mouth, with your words, you say, hey, you're of age and this is what happens. And you probably should talk to them like as because my dad was talking to me about like little like things of like, eventually it's gonna do some stuff. And I was like, what the fuck is this stuff? And he was like, we're not there yet. But I knew some stuff was gonna happen. So stuff happened. I freaked the fuck out. But he was like, remember when I was like, oh yeah, stuff happens to I'm of age, and he's like, yeah, you're kind of a man now. So I wasn't panicking. I was like, oh shit. And then we had the conversation. But
at least you got ushered into it nicely. I had young parents, so my father was a deplorable human being. I got exposed to shit way earlier than I was supposed to. He don't be in the shower using your stepmom shampoo to be jacking off. And I'm like, in elementary school, I don't know what the fuck jacking off is. What are you talking about, sir?
So I got those jokes. I just didn't get them.
Fair enough. I got them.
Yeah, see, I didn't
and
understand.
I understood them.
Yeah, I was like, because I would end up like, and I was like, I don't understand what you mean, because I have to pee now, and it just be up. I just thought this thing be up because whatever. So yeah, that didn't really like register. But yeah, I watched that. I just like was watching that movie, and I was like, this is like a cool. I feel like it's a cool movie that if you were like if you're like a single dad or some shit, I'm absolutely putting on Red.
As you should.
Because I'm like, damn, how do I introduce this conversation? And then the kid goes like, what's period? I'm like, okay, well, like as a woman, you kind of blah, 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 blah. So I remember that being like the controversy for that film. And I was like, it's stupid. Because like, you're just not gonna tell her. You're just gonna have her wake up one day and like think her fucking like body blew up.
I mean, even if you don't want to tell her, they have just search through YouTube. I'm sure there's some instructional videos for teenagers on there about minstrels that you can watch this and then talk to your mom afterwards. If that's how uncomfortable there's still resources for you to utilize this.
I just always find that to be nuts because like people die in like Disney movies. You got showing them to your kids. Like Clayton hung himself. Gaston fell off a building.
Bambi, the original.
Bambi's mom died. Pinocchio is a just chaotic fucking Stromboli kidnapped that man, double cheeked up, just kidnapping kids. They're turning into like, what are you talking about? You can't you can show your kid trauma porn, but you can't be like Mufasa died. Like you could talk to your kid about like their actual natural body function.
But even like so even sticking with that, which I know we're not into like the deep part of the segment, but talking about chaos, right? Like I'm not looking for chaos in Say by Music, but chaos is surrounding us in everywhere, whether we pay attention to it or not. There's all types of chaos. Why do you think that we avoid certain types of chaos that we should be paying more attention to or leaning into, and we gravitate towards other kinds that we probably should avoid?
I think it's kind of like I guess understanding what the chaos is like used for. Like there's chaos, so to speak, but that like this is a difficult conversation and it can like benefit you in the back end. You have enough awareness and insight to go, or discernment, intuition, I don't know, man, pick your fancy word that like works for you. And
cognition.
Yeah, like you can go, okay, like you playing sports analogy, you playing sports. Like I hate running. I hate the chaos of this sport. But if I'm running, I know running helps me get, my wind gets better. The chaos going on in my body will get me in a better shape to play this game better. I can understand where this goes. We lean into other chaos because it's like easier. I could go out here and run and get yelled at and knock somebody out, or I could like skip practice. Then I could like, go up here and like eat a bunch of Cheese Whiz, and do cartwheels and get that. And like it's still chaotic. It's just what's easy for you. So sometimes like stuff that is a challenge is what's good. I will say like transparency, you kind of get in the habit of like understanding like what's a challenge and what's you just kicking your own ass. But that's your own journey.
Do people really understand that?
No.
Okay.
Because I mean, like, I feel like I have a pretty decent awareness, but I be having talks with myself. I've also noticed, I said it's part of my like vent too, that well, one, you kind of have to start, playing out, okay, this is something that benefits me. This is something I'm learning from. This is something that's challenging my beliefs and all this other stuff. And then, there are people like, you hear some people that are just kind of getting like toxic situations, or whether it's not a relationship thing, just patterns. And it's like, you're not getting the lesson and you just kicking your own ass. But what I've noticed, at least for myself, because like I said, I'm trying to like trying to get a car rather soon. And that whole process, because I want this to last, but I don't want to put no more money into this. And just like, personal shit, like, money over here, going to school, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, when the stresses come out, I was like talking out loud. I realized for me is I was like, way to like just because I feel like, I don't know. I had some analogy when I was talking to myself the other day, but like to get it out of here allows it not to like through here. So I would say that that's even like controlling your chaos. Cause like I'm cool with the chaos of like stuff's fucking whatever. Cause I'm like not a masochist, but I am one of those people who's like the pain can grow you and build you.
Absolutely.
But you got to know how to like release and like use that shit appropriately. So keeping that shit pent up, because I'm good at like thinking, but I realize like how simple an act of like self-talk can sort that shit out. And I was like, oh, this works pretty good, because I was feeling really fucking anxious and kind of all over the place. Said a couple words and talk to yourself. Oh, talk to yourself nicely too, because I be talking to me like I really like fuck with dog. Like I kick my own ass. I'll be like, I'll tell myself you fucking up, and then I'll end it with like, and I love you, bro, but like relax. Like
I'm
knock it off.
glad you threw that last part in there.
Mhm.
So venting is important. People
Yeah.
should vent more often. We are vent.
Vent.
We should vent more often. You should us more often. But
Vent with purpose though, because like I think
that's the part that I was going to add in, which is why I'm glad that you said that I talk to myself nicely part, because you can be spewing all kind of bullshit out all day long. And going back to the music component, and you said like certain artists are saying certain things, you'd be like, yeah, I can't ingest a lot of this because it just creates a certain mood. They're the ones creating albums based in these negative mindsets. They are venting, but they may be venting in a negative way that keeps them in a certain negative mindset. Rod Wave vents on every album and every song, but is he venting in a way that's beneficial to his mental and emotional health?
boy, do he.
Probably not. Future vents.
He does.
Is he venting in a way that's beneficial to his progression in a positive way?
Oh, here we go.
9 Kids says no.
Shit. Drake vents about a lot.
Absolutely.
Same. Drake, I think they should, but he got to be banned from Houston a bit. Oh, but this one, like, male friends don't let you vent small. It's just straight to the solutions. And I be like that with me, because like I let me vent, and then eventually I'm like, okay, my nigga, like we have all the
Solution-based,
but like do we
yes.
have all the issues out? And I'm like, yeah, self. And then they go like, cool, we got all the issues out. Have you kicked you kicked the dog, you punched the hole in the wall, you flipped the table? I didn't do all that. I'm just saying, like, you did whatever you need to do to get your emotions out. I'm like, yes. That's like, okay, let's smallest shit knock it out, medium shit knock it out, and we need to start, because otherwise, my nigga, you're gonna sit here and be, this is actually like verbatim, be like, because you're gonna sit here and be like fucked up, and I'm like, you know what, you're right.
So what is something recently that you have vented about or talked yourself through to help yourself be in a better mindset?
Recently, just the car thing, because I'm it's hot, and my car is like, I could put the money into the car I have now, but I was like thinking, I was like, because I'll be like stressing about the car, and I'm like, why I can't, whatever. And then I like thought about my dad the other day or a couple weeks ago, and he was like, you've had a long time. And I ended up having to have that conversation with myself. He's like, I was like, like we've been driving this like a while. And I was like, this is a cool. This is supposed to be like get the hose. And I was like, we've been driving this like, like this has been our car
Through 2 degrees, just about.
Yeah. And I was like, you know what, you're right. And it's like, yeah, bro. And it was like, then I like put out kind of like the like a rough math in my head. And I was like, we're talking like gas mileage, if we're talking like what we spent. And I was like, car note not bad. Because I realized I've had my car since like 2011. So I'm stressing over the idea of a car note because it's just like a payment. And I'm like, yeah, but it's like, bro, think about like you have a job, like you pay for stuff. And I was like, oh yeah, this is a stupid stress.
I just have to take some of the money that I spend from over here and put it over here.
Yeah.
And then I'm okay.
Yeah, it was just like little conversations like that. And I was like, oh, well, that's doable. That makes sense.
And that took you all of a matter of how long?
when I sat down and had like the actual conversation, I did that shit like I think I was like when I was like down visiting in Houston this week. It was like one day that I like was mid set. I'd say like if I was mid set, like it took me 10 minutes to have like the real conversation, and then I was like cool, and I realized like that it'll really mess your stuff up because it was I'm not trying to be like captain whatever, but what I was putting up was like whatever. It was like my couple warm-up sets, and I was like, this is heavy. I had that conversation. I was like, oh, we're good. Wow, you're a powerful shit, brain, because you was fucking up the whole system down here. Which also makes you think about like, whenever everybody's feeling away, y'all be like underestimating this brain thing be doing some shit because I was not tired. I was hopped up on I was as ready to I had stretched. I was as ready to go as you could go. And I was like, wow. That being bummed, like that'll fuck your whole shit up.
That's interesting. And I would want to do. Granted, I'm sure there are probably studies out there on it, and I don't want to literally do the study, but like being dominantly right-brained or dominantly left-brained, which one can give you more physical ability as far as to overcome whatever you're struggling through? The emotional component being your right brain and the logical component being your left brain. So is somebody that's left brain going to overcome things more quickly or easier than somebody that's left brain, or vice versa?
I think I don't know. I think it kind of might be like one of those mashup things, or however your brain balances it. Because I think sometimes if you're overtly logical, you'll have a situation of like, this sucks. Like you've logically had 3 to 4 very bad situations, and then you emotionally have to kick in that like these aren't that bad. Like you stubbed your toe, your shoe was untied, but you have to. I don't know. Like yeah, they balance because it's like you need to be able to regulate the emotion of a thing. And then also, the emotions kind of like might get you through a thing. Like I'm mad or I'm emotional or that has pushed me through the fact of logically is like, we should probably go. And it's like, man, fuck that. I could do this shit.
I feel like that would be the equivalent of having like Black Stallion, really fast horse, beautiful, wonderful and everything. But you need to pull the reins on that bitch sometimes. We can't go all out every time. Like controlled chaos when it comes to the emotional component, but also having a nice perimeter or structure when it comes to the logic that you're utilizing, so you're not too super matter of fact about everything.
Yeah, I think I'm like, a slave to balance or whatever, like word to my aunt. So it's like, yeah, it's how you yeah, it's I guess like you said, like it's how you put the framework around it, like have the emotion, it's about drive, it's about powers,
Not a power.
all that shit. And then you kind of you put some logic around it, like we can be mad as shit, but turn mad into focused or whatever, like how them transmute, y'all alchemists and shit. I feel like that might have been overtly deep, but my bad. Actually, he didn't even have to do all that. Edges, I don't know, man, to lose an arm
and still be able to,
I don't know, man, I might take that. If I was like an Edward Elric, I might take the lump. Now Alphonse got it. He ain't no body. But Ed, I lose a leg and an arm, and I get. I have to do that.
I mean, he got his body back in the end.
And that was a journey, though.
It was.
They went through it, and Ed had to lose all his stuff.
Yeah,
that's crazy. But
I mean, hey,
Ed got Winry though. Love wins. Y'all gotta watch some anime, bro. Like Hunter x Hunter's coming back. I don't know, I'm all over the place, but like,
oh, it is.
They finally got they got it together. It was announced. Oh. Now I just needed to get here in real life, but it was announced that they're bringing back another season to get it together. And Bleach is coming back with another season. It's up.
It sounds wonderful.
It does,
but it's also anime.
That's true.
I will believe it when I stream it.
You know what? That is
because they be saying a lot of shit and it don't be. It could be true. I mean, they said Attack on Titan was going to come back, and years later, they finally came back and ended it with a couple seasons and called it a day, which is cool. But it took what 5 years, damn near.
That's true.
So who knows? Yeah, we coming back, and then by the time they finally do drop that new season, you be married with kids.
Pretty much. And then there's so much out there. It's a lot. I don't really know, but positive self-talk. I know that's the thing. Like, I'd be asking, like, That's one of like my main things to talk about like at work when I be telling kids about like how to, because I'm like it's a super simple method, but you have to really talk to yourself though. Like don't be up here like, you're an amazing effervescent fucking you can do that when you're ready, but you have like the same way that you would talk, like how you talk to, I don't know, man, how you would talk to somebody.
How y'all talk to y'all kids when y'all mad at them?
Well, I don't know, because some of y'all is, I had a thought about, I'm gonna say that though, because I had a thought about that like driving here. But talk to yourself like it's somebody you love. Like if you really love this person, I love you enough to kind of make you feel bad because like you are absolutely fucking up out here.
That's why I said talk to him like you talk to your kids. Not like you talking to the kids that remind you of his daddy and you can't stand his daddy. So you gonna curse at him. I ain't talking about that. I'm talking about the kids you actually love, but you just be like, God damn it, what is wrong with you?
Some of y'all be rating your kid. Okay.
Yeah, that's degrading. We're not gonna go that route.
Okay, I have a thought because I got a minute left to drop this question.
Slide it on in there.
So, you see like dudes have a lot of conversations about like they might have been a hoe or a fuck nigga. They still be a fuck nigga. And I like when I had a daughter, it changed my whole perspective. Now, should it take you having a daughter? No. But I do hear that a lot from niggas that I know that have kids and niggas that don't have daughters. Like having a daughter change their whole viewpoint, and they don't even like talk the same about whole. But like I be seeing a lot of like on the internet, you'd be like niggas is whoop whoop whoop. It's a lot of city girl lyrics or whoever the girl lyrics or nigga get a bag and nigga ain't, if he not giving. And then in the bio it'd be like man is my world. And so when man get a certain age, like if you came to the door, like if a version of you were to come to the door with him for prom or post high school or whatever, would you be that happy? Like would you be okay with like the you next to him? Like if she was like, if you was looking on, oh, this is Alicia, she is dating my son, I wonder what she like, you on Instagram, we're all gonna keep social media, and you look and it's like F-I-E, I'm fuck nigga, would you be cool with that fucking with, like, are you gonna, because that's your son, like would you like, you ain't nothing but a bag, he's supposed to bend over backwards and be the prize, are you gonna tell your son like he's not a prize? Is that how that works? I don't like, because all right, commercials. Commercial. Be the prize. Are you gonna tell your son like he's not a prize? Is that how that works?
Hey Jackie, what's wrong?
I'm over here running around trying to tell everybody about the Podcast Pit.
What's the Podcast Pit?
I'm glad you asked. The Podcast Pit is an event where you will find some of your favorite podcasts performing in front of a live audience.
Will there be food and drinks there?
Of course there will be. It's at Joxer Dailies in Culver City. They have a full bar and a full menu.
Hey, I may need to tell people about this as well.
Yes, come with me. Let's tell them. The Podcast Pit is coming. The Podcast
Pit is coming.
Yo, this is Jason Lee from Hollywood Unlocked, and even though they extra as hell, check out Never Not Extra on TGN Network.
That's right.
Y'all gotta have notes, cue cards, teleprompter.
Are you trying to buy a home, car, or make other investments and being discriminated against because of your credit score? At credit909.com, our professionals can help you remove judgments, student loans, child support, medical bills, and other erroneous and negative items on your credit report. Call 800-752-9763 today for a free credit analysis and consultation, or text credit to 909-688-5461.
Hey there, business owners. Don't miss our limited time offer. Advertise on the Good News Radio as low as $2 per commercial slot. That's right. Promote your business up to 4 times a day, every day for a month on live radio. If you're interested, email us at contact@tgnradio.net. Once again, that's contact@tgnradio.net.
Fee fi.
Fo fum.
You already know what that means. We're live from the den. Devontae Green, proud founder and CEO of the Giants Den, also co-host Live from the Den.
Yes, indeed. Danny Crumble, co-founder of the Giants Den, also co-host from Live from the Den. Excited to engage in these conversations.
Yes, leadership, self-improvement, real conversations that Black men have or need to be having. Tune in Monday nights, 7:30. TGN Talk.
And it's only one way to end this powerfully. 1, 2, 3.
Salute.
What's happening, family? It's Dre, aka Big Draco. Be sure to tune into the We Don't Make the Rules live on Sundays at 5:30, only on the Good News Radio app.
Find it on TGN Sports.
Are you looking for the best barbershop experience? Then the Locker Room Barbershop is the place for you. Check them out at their new location, located at 16900 Lakewood Boulevard, Unit 204 in Bellflower, California. If you would like to book an appointment, you can check them out at thelockerroom05.com or on Instagram at The Locker Room Barbershop LLC. Feel free to call the number 562-202-9602. Again, that phone number is 562-202-9602. Can't wait to see you at the Locker Room Barbershop.
What's up, everyone? It's your girl Jules from the Primos Chidos. Did you know that recent studies have proven that the Primos Chidos radio?
Yes. Release it. All that chaos that you built up in the first segment, you can release that now. Relax just a little bit. Just do a little box breathing.
Oh, that whole diagram is good.
Yeah, of course. This wonderfulness. Just get yourself completely situated. But I honestly, like, although casually chaotic, the question that you brought up is really actually quite valid. Not even just within the context of, you know, your child seeing a version of you and bringing that home. Would you be proud of that? But essentially, like the reflection, right? Because your child can bring home somebody as a reflection of you. But when we go to self-talk, because this is the last day as far as mental health awareness is concerned. Next, we go into Pride next month. So we're going to get the mental health out the way now. We can talk about debauchery next month. But for right now, reflection of yourself, looking in the mirror, seeing a version of you that you may not necessarily be happy with, but you have the power to actually control this version, because you can't control who your child dates. You can't control who your child brings home. That's already compounded years of your talk towards them, their self-talk, talk that they've gotten from their environment, things of that nature that have shaped their perspective, which has shaped their choice in whoever this individual is. But when you look in the mirror, that's the culmination of all your thoughts and choices looking back at you. So how does somebody cope when they look at the reflection of themselves and they're not liking what they're seeing?
I mean, simple answer, you have got to figure out ways to change that. Like, you know, if you be honest with yourself, I think self-talk doesn't always turn into, I don't know if I feel like I preface it like that, like you're going to always come up with the answers. I just feel like sometimes that just is a thing to give you direction. We need to do this. And then that is at least you having a verbal confirmation of what you've been trying to wash around in your head. You've given yourself a direction. Like, I might need to go, like, okay, when motherfuckers talk about therapy, man, I need to figure this. You know, you might think that in your head, I got to find a way to figure, and verbally outside your mouth talking about it, talk it through. And I've been doing this like this. What do I need to do? You need to go to therapy, bro. You need to go get some help, or you need to go to the doctor. You need to go, and, you know, you sitting there thinking in your house, thinking in the, you know, I'll use the car, like, man, I'm stressed, man. This car messing up. You just, I don't know. Somehow I feel like for me, like in my head, it'll just rinse, repeat until you go take it to the mechanic, stupid. And then, oh, I found it'll give you like a direction to go.
So utilizing the resources, or at least understanding of what the actual resource should be, and being able to take accountability for seeking it out and then utilizing it properly. Now, the utilizing it properly part is kind of tricky. I know for me, not just within the last couple months, because, you know, we talk about mental health a lot, but in general, especially since I've been in the field the last, 5, 6, 7 years, I always encourage people that look like us, or melanated individuals, or even congratulate and validate them when they're like, oh yeah, I'm in therapy.
Oh yeah.
I just started therapy, and I'd be like, you know, high five.
I actually just checked my, I was like, you know, like I told you when like I initially did my consultation, and I was like, man, this shit's starting. But I forgot you can like go online to guys. So anyways, on the 10th is my first.
Congratulations.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Gang shit.
I like to change the narrative and celebrate people actually taking that leap into finding said resources to help them reshape the image that they're looking at into one that's more positive for them. But there's only one step in the process.
Yeah.
I've talked to quite a few people that be like, therapy just doesn't work for me. Like, I want to challenge that, not just because I'm a therapist and I have a bias towards therapy, but let me challenge that a little bit. You sure therapy didn't work for you, or you weren't trying to work through your therapy? Like, which one is it? Because it's a lot of people that can seek out the resource. You can go to the mechanic. That doesn't mean that, you know, you're going to believe everything the mechanic says. That doesn't mean you're going to accept it. Hey, you need a new this, which is going to cost a lot because you've done X, Y, and Z damage for a certain amount of time. I don't believe you. Just give me an oil change and put some fluids in there, and then I'm going to go ahead and go about my business. But you have leaks here. You need to at least change the hoses in this area, this area, and this area. I'm not trying to hear all that. I just came in for an oil change. All right.
You have to believe that something is wrong. Like, I feel like the car analogy even affects like people who say therapy doesn't work for me, whatever. If you go in, like, it was something that like I saw this week, and I think I posted it too. Like, it was like, you have to, if you always think you're right, you've like maxed out on growth or whatever. And also word that you didn't, because growth sucks. It's kicking the ball. So I think one, there's a perception that therapy is supposed to be this like relieving this oh my god, we're it's a healing summer, bitch, we're finna heal. You can, I believe in you, but I've broken and cut more shit. The healing process sucks damn near just as bad sometimes as the injury. You're going to bump it. You're going to realize I can't move this appendage the way I could move it before. I'm limited in mobility. It stings. It hurts. It itches. All types of shit. The same can be applied to if you're trying to heal your mind and traumas and all this other stuff. So the same with the leak. It's like, I'm telling you, like, as a therapist, or if I'm the mechanic, I can't make you believe it, but I'm looking at it. I have insight in this. It's this here, and this here is messed up. Now we could fix it, but you're going to have to pay. Now the mechanic, you pay money, what else you pay money to, but you have to give the effort of, I'm going to drop the car off, I'm going to give it to you, I'm going to find other way around it. It's like, I don't believe that shit there. Well, if that's the case, that'd be the same thing as therapy not working for you. I can tell you all day and all night, you have a avoidant attachment style, gang, or an anxious attachment style. You have this, and this. From what you've told me about the situation, I'm noticing a pattern here and here. And you could do all that shit in the world, and the motherfucker go, I don't believe that shit. Well, I'm at the end of my rope, because I can't work for you. I can work with you.
Absolutely. I mean, but say, sticking with the mechanic analogy, right? Paying the fee is part of the process. That's part of the pain that you have to go through. All these things after the work is done, or after the injury has healed, or whatever the case is, the adjustments that you have to make to your physical body, that's part of the process. It's a never ending process. If I break my ankle, yes, I've had this traumatic injury, right? My body did whatever it needed to do, made it swell up, gave me some extra secretions of whatever in my mind that helped me not deal with the pain in that moment. But the healing process starts the moment that I identify that there's a problem and I start seeking something to heal it. But after that heals, you still have atrophy because you haven't been able to use it, which means your process isn't over. Even if you've gotten that strength back, there may be scar tissue. There may be this, there may be that. It may not be able to have the same mobility, the same range of motion, which means your process still continues. So instead of you paying attention to like, all this is a part of the process of me changing to create a different reflection of who I'm looking at in the mirror that I enjoy, I'm just going, no, I know there's a mirror there. I don't even want to look. I know there's a mechanic that I can go to that can tell me what's going on with my car, but I don't even want to go to the mechanic. I don't even want to go to the doctor. I'm avoiding even starting the process. And if I do start it, I don't even want to get past step one. Why is that such a problem for us as individuals? Why do we get hung up at step one or starting at all when it comes to our benefit or changing ourselves in better ways? But we'll easily go through all the steps of the process for some bullshit.
Well, for one, I want to say, hey, Zach. Hey, fellas, I got y'all on the TV, and I'm commenting chat room on that. You're a double timing. You're a superstar.
So we appreciate that. Thank you very much.
You're awesome. You're amazing. Love you. Anyways, I think you kind of covered it with the word easy. Like, a lot of and again, this is not said as somebody who's judging other people. Like, I fully understand. I'm like, I could do this shit, but I could also shoot a lot of zombies. Or I could
shooting zombies is fun.
Right? Or like, I could deal with A, B, and C, or because I was a good hoe. Or I could just go get some like frivolous booty ass, and not for the good part. Like you just going to get booty ass because it's fun. You getting booty ass to like cover up some shit.
Mhm.
I'm finna go get drunk, or I'm finna go like. You understand why you're doing a thing. It's not necessarily that you're doing said thing, depending on the thing. I'm not telling you how to go do heroin, but it's the reasons behind. Like if you smoke because you smoke and it feels good, it makes you whatever. That's one thing. If you're smoking and your smoking is consistently contingent on the fact that I'm trying to escape an issue to do an easier thing, you're not really avoiding the issue. It's the same shit about I correlated to like medical shit. Like I can avoid going to the doctor for A, B, and C. But if that motherfucker says you have a terminal illness, me not going to the doctor doesn't make that shit any less terminal.
Right.
Like, and I think and I think even though, the same way, and it's the same thing, you don't stop going to the doctor just because you're healthy. Like your body is progressively changing and we are going to deteriorate. So you do the best you can consistently to make sure this is all on the up and up. This is from said black man who has all those, fears of the doctor. But your mind is the same way.
But even going with that analogy of not going to the doctor because you're healthy, how are you measuring that? That goes to the self-talk, because your self-talk could be detrimental to you. You say, I'm healthy, I'm in perfectly good shape. A delusion.
Mm-hmm.
But you're not accepting the fact, like, I don't move as fast as I used to. I'm getting tired, or I need to hit the gym. You're thinking in a small sense that something may be easily adjusted with me and I need to do that, but it's not enough urgency for me to do that right now. You could be telling yourself a solution that is actually the problem. I'm perfectly healthy. I don't need to do X, Y, and Z that would improve my health because there's nothing for me to improve.
Yeah. And I think, I know for me, like word to imagination, that's one thing like talking does. Like it almost feels like I'm like filling all the shit in the room because I don't have enough space like in my brain to like cover all this shit. So it's like, I think I'm healthy, right? I'm gonna use that analogy. And it's like, I'm thinking I'm healthy because I'm just thinking about it only solely from I get up, I go to work, I do my day-to-day stuff. And I'm not adding in like, let's talk this to like, you got up today, you got dressed, you ran downstairs to the car to start it because it was cold or whatever, and you ran back upstairs. You was really tired when you did that. That was not enough for you to be as tired as you was. And you got in your car, you drove to work, you did this, you was still kind of sweating or whatever. Like your body is running like really weird than it was like the last time. You remember you weren't running this hot, you weren't this out of breath, you weren't this whatever. And now you might have if you'd have caught this like early on, you're like, oh, I can maybe start going to the gym now.
Mm-hmm.
Now I can catch it. But you haven't paid attention. You've been doing this same pattern, out of breath, haven't done this, haven't been having the energy for like 6 months. You go to the doctor, he's like, hey man, your blood pressure off the Richter scale, this, that, and the third, because you haven't really been paying attention. You just been running your routine. Same thing might be going for like your brain. You pick your kid up, you go to work, you whatever, but you've been snappy with this one. You haven't called dog, you haven't done this, you just been
You've been thinking that you were functional. Again, delusion. I've been maneuvering in this cycle of behaviors, reactive behaviors, not proactive, not conscious, but subconscious reactive behaviors. I've been doing these things for so long that I've been under the guise of me being okay. But you've also been participating in a large amount of self-neglect, because how sticking with the gaining weight or getting unhealthy analogy, that's how most people utilize man, I don't know where these 50 pounds came from. They just snuck up on me. Like, no, it didn't sneak up on you. You've been on autopilot that long. You have been neglecting yourself for 50 pounds length of time.
You've been looking in the mirror every day.
And
you've been
looking
putting on the
past yourself.
You've been putting on these same clothes and what the fuck? And just been going out the door. And that first, what the fuck, you should have been like, damn. And you do that shit in your brain. Like, I don't know, man. Like, you got in too many arguments, and it's like, man, motherfuckers keep fucking with me. It's like, nah, you have less patience, you have less tolerance, you have less communicative skills than you've had before, or, kind of examining yourself and shit. You gotta take your space. Sometimes, like, figure that shit the fuck out. Take time you take to go to the gym for your body. Take your ass to whatever the fuck to clear your mind. And that might be like, man, you ain't be coming outside with the gang anymore. Well, I can't, because the time that I would go out and drink with y'all, I need to go to the gym now so I can get my body together so my heart don't explode.
Right.
The time I would come to, fuck on you, to whatever on you, to kick it with y'all, I got, therapy once a week, and I need to go, make sure I have time to meditate or whatever so I can clear my brain so I can get back so I can really get back. I'm maintaining now. I want to get good.
Right. But that's step 3 or 4 in the process.
True.
Step one was you the belt part. This shit ain't something ain't fitting the way it's supposed to be. And we automatically, you mentioned having a avoidant attachment style. I think a lot of us have an avoidant attachment style with accountability.
Fuck yeah.
With giving ourselves. So we talked earlier a little bit about getting validation and affirmation from others. We give it to ourselves sometimes as the same delusion. You fine, girl. You sexy how you are. I'm all for body positivity and things of that nature. But you can utilize said body positivity as a way to talk yourself into the same cycle that has been killing you slowly. Sometimes you have to be accountable to yourself. Say, you know what? I can still love me, but I need to give myself attention in these areas because this is not getting better. It's getting worse. Whatever it is, it could be your emotions, it could be your weight, it could be your physical health, it could be your mental health, whatever it is. There's a lot of us that we can have an avoidant attachment style with accountability to the point where we talk ourselves into an early grave, whether it's because we do something to take ourselves out or we make a consistent amount of choices that are slowly decreasing our lifespan.
Yeah. And as I said before, and like I said, I always like, even as you said with the body positivity thing, is like I don't know, man, you being imbalanced in those things, you're gonna end up fucking yourself up, like in a sometimes like a irreversible way. Because there's body positivity that you're not obligated to look like Arnold Schwarzenegger, but you can be honest enough to go, I am out of shape, I am not healthy. And on the flip side, you don't have to be you big fat funky motherfucker to somebody. Like,
absolutely.
There's a balance between being honest and being completely like rude, berating, belligerent, pick a word, any word. Like, there's like targeted attacks on yourself and others. Cause it's like, if you, what's that dude's name? I'm finna find the comic reference. The dude who played like the ice guy in the Flash show. There was this thing when he was doing that. I forget his name though.
Yeah,
he was in that Prison Break
Captain
show.
Cool?
Yeah. And he was in that Prison Break show. Like, I still don't know dog's name, but it was that series where like they go and speak at Harvard and like it's like them and some students and some guys ask them questions and everybody gets real profound on that show. It's kind of dope. They had a Terrence Howard on there and he was use your mind, man, and I had a out of body experience. But anyways, but he was up there talking about how he had this whole shtick about like self-talk, and it was like, if you don't talk to your think about how you talk to your friends. If you talk to them a certain way, you wouldn't want to talk to them a certain way. So why talk to yourself that way?
Mm-hmm.
And I kind of thought about that as far as like how people communicate necessarily with like others might be how you communicate with yourself, and how and now you might not recognize that that's fucking with you. If you like are like, a highly anxious person, or like a kind of, you might be getting to whatever you're getting to, but it is through a very negative lens. You fucking up right now. You could be doing so much better, you piece of shit. And you might go out and get, you might pass all your tests. You might get a promotion that week, but it's all fueled off of you talk to yourself like a fucking dog, and that is affecting your mental health. But you realize, like, when you talk about your friends or you talk to your loved ones, you're very like aggressive with how you talk to them, and it ain't like you're gonna cut that off with yourself.
Right. I honestly, I can identify with that because the chip on my shoulder that I had through most of my life that propelled me to having the accomplishments that I had came from that negative self-talk. I pushed myself super hard and damn near ran myself into the ground in so many different areas because I was telling myself I'm not good enough and I have to work harder. So I did.
I do that. I don't know that I don't necessarily go from, I've had moments where I'm not good enough, but mine is definitely from like anxiousness of you cannot fail. Like, it's
that
like
too.
a whole giant fear of like
Perfectionism.
Yeah, it's like, well, if you don't do this, then
you're never
like,
gonna amount to.
Oh yeah, I'll run this imagination to me like in a hut in Cambodia somewhere, like stabbing squirrels to eat. Like, it'll get real dark and dumb. And like I recently, like, I'd be open with my mom and she's like, why do you? And I was like, well, man, because it's worked. It's not like the best, but I was like, yeah, I'm like, I was living the not Van Wilder life. I graduated like on time, but I was partying my ass off. Like, and I was like, I would do a lot of like, oh shit, I fucked up for these many weeks, and I would like, catch up, be cool with my teachers, and come back and get an A. But it was like, that's a really stressful cycle. I've just been dope from the start. So I've carried that into like, I might get like anxiety about, man, this is a really hard whatever. And then like on the back end, I'm like, all right, suit up because we don't want to fucking fail. So I'm stressing myself out at the beginning because I'm anxious about whatever that's coming up. And then I like kick it in the fucking hyperdrive at the end. And it's like, yeah, this is dumb.
So you just recognized your trauma response. You recognize how you traumatized yourself in the beginning because you were putting yourself being delusional until the very end. Because that's the cycle that we have. We do a bunch of unhealthy shit for ourselves mentally, physically, emotionally, spiritually, financially, nutritionally. We neglect ourselves and our safety and stability and nurturing ourselves in certain areas. We neglect that for a certain period of time until we recognize that something is in danger. Then we try to kick it into hyperdrive. And once we get to a comfortable space, we coast and start the cycle all over again. You do that long enough, your trauma response is born to where now you're completely reacting different to all of these things and you're going to adjust to that. But we do that so much that we end up creating trauma responses to our trauma responses. And then you have to do something like going to therapy to unpack it.
Mhm.
But I've already got 2 layers of trauma response in front of my actionable things that are going to help me change. And I can end up getting to a point where therapy doesn't work for me because you're not recognizing how many layers you actually have to dive through.
Yeah, I think that's word to being just like objective. And I think, I don't know, this has helped. Like I'm good with trying to like, I don't know, like word to whatever my disposition is, my sign, whatever y'all want to put to me. But like I like depth, and I feel like you can't be honest and have depth if you're not able to be objective. So you be talking with somebody else and you be like, oh shit, that's me. God damn, what the fuck? And I would say, even as somebody like in the space in myself, there's only so much I feel like you can do like for yourself, because you can have, I think I have like a fair amount of tools. But once you put them down there, it's like every now and again, like if you're a coach, you need somebody in the box to go like, you can't see this angle. And also I know people like do a lot of, and I'm 100% sure you've experienced, like you have people talk to you, you have loved ones talk to you, you talk to your friends, you whatever, and even that has like a shelf life, because those people like love you, and like there's a different dynamic with how they give information, how they perceive you. Somebody in therapy is not, a therapist is not going to talk to you bad, but it's 100% like I'm objectively like this part that somebody might obscure a bit because they care about your feelings. I care about them, but I care about them getting better first and foremost. That's wrong. That little thing that you're trying to, that's the linchpin to this whole fucking shit. Because I heard people say that shit a lot, like they would go to therapy, but you know, I talk to mine. I'm like, nah,
it's not the same thing. I mean, being able to have therapeutic spaces to have conversations where you can be vulnerable and hear different perspectives, yes, that's important. You should be able to have those types of conversations in all of the relationships that you have. Draw certain boundaries accordingly in all those different environments, but you should be able to have some degree of those things in all the relationships that you have. But it's not the same as somebody who does this, is trained for this, goes through it on a regular basis, has done the work themselves to be able to help you unbiasedly do it for yourself. Because essentially the therapist part is you doing it on your own. You talking to other individuals that you care about is you sometimes vomiting, or you laying your burden on somebody else, or whatever the case is. It may not come from a healthy space.
Give it to God.
Yeah, well, God gave it to you for a reason. What the fuck are you giving it back to me? You have to do the work yourself. But that's what therapy is sometimes. And I think that's what makes people uncomfortable with therapy, because they realize, oh no, this is your blueprint. I'm telling you what's on the blueprint, and I'm telling you where you need to go and what you need to do when you get there. But you still have to go on your own. I'm Siri. You can refer to me for some sort of guidance, but you still have to do the navigating yourself. I'm the Pokédex here.
I like my Thor analogy. Like, you know, I'll be Mjolnir, but you have to swing this motherfucker.
Absolutely.
And you have to be worthy to pick this hoe up.
Absolutely. So even like I've definitely experienced some of that, and I'm grateful that a lot of my clients appreciate how I approach therapy, because it's not super conventional. But I'm not. I'm gonna put this back on you all day long. Yes, I want to validate your emotions, but you're here for a reason. Well, you went to the doctor for a reason. You went to the mechanic for a reason. You tried to buckle the belt and realized this shit ain't fitting, and you had to do something to change it for a reason. You came here for a reason. So I'm just pointing out, hey, don't forget redirection.
Yeah, I think that's like a huge theme. Like, and I'm big, you know, and I'm probably like annoying to anybody who like, you know, has relationships with me, but like, you know, love y'all for real.
Sometimes.
Well, I love y'all always. I don't like y'all all the time, but like, you know, which is important. We're getting into romantic. That's not where I'm trying to head right now. But I think the idea of like the only way this shit works, at least for me, and I know it sounds, you know, not to say it like this on purpose, because I just feel like, you know, a little bit of hitting the balls is you have to play the villain. Like
Absolutely.
everything, you know, we're looking at everything through your story. You're the director, you're the star, you're the fucking producer, you're carrying the boom mic. I get that. But when you get on set of what is your particular life or whatever, the situation you came to me about, you came to him about, you came whatever about, you're the bad guy. Like at some point you got to go like, I'm a goddamn piece of shit. And then you work from that space, and everybody loves a redemption story. I love watching the stories of the bad guy like figures it out, becomes an anti-hero. But like if you come in, like as soon as I start hearing this shit, that was a quote from like Zoe Williams. It was like, once, you know, if you like talk to somebody and as soon as you start hearing like unidirectional blame, just blame all this way, you're dealing with a child, like you did something. And I don't know, sometimes you might not pay attention to like what how important that 5% is. Like this is one big ass fucking contraption. This one screw is really 3% of what makes of every piece in here. But if you remove this motherfucker, shit either works or don't work.
Right.
But that motherfucker was, I'm like, yeah, but that right there is contingent on this one piece.
Right.
This is the domino that knocks all that shit down. And motherfucker, that was your piece. You did that.
Yep. And sometimes therapy is showing you the screw and explaining that to you. And that's not what people would prefer to do. They'd rather blame everything else being the way it is. So I call them gut punches. I have gut punches all the time in therapy. And that'll be my little send off sometimes, where I have a couple questions that I'll leave the clients with to kind of process that. And we'll talk about it next week. I'm gonna have we was talking right there. Shit.
Y'all ain't had enough fights, because I know everybody loves a knockout, but y'all underestimate an effective gut punch.
Take all the wind out your body and make you sit there and think about it for a second. Anybody can get knocked out and wake back up, and you ain't have to deal with no repercussions. Yeah, you get you right in that soft spot. You go, you gonna feel that one, but it's gonna make you rethink everything.
Thank you.
We're gonna go ahead and go to this commercial break, and I have a bit of a perspective shift when we come back. Something that came into mind, but we'll see y'all in a few minutes. But we'll see y'all in a few minutes.
Hey, what's up, y'all? It's your girl, Mysterious Jax from Ladies Night Radio Show. That's right, the entertaining, fun show with Cheeseman, Hot Topics, and just all girl talk. This show is for the ladies, so make sure you catch it every Friday at 7:30 with me and my ladies, only on TGN Latinx. Sundays just got sweeter. The Hub Radio presents First Sundays Open Mic, hosted by Hub City Dre, DJ Gamma Ray, and the First Sundays Band. They're inviting all singers, rappers, comedians, and poets to show up and show out. Signups begin at 6 p.m. Sundays Open Mic will take place every first Sunday of the month. It's just $10 before 8 p.m. and $20 after, so arrive early. The address is 1135 East Compton Boulevard. That's 1135 East Compton Boulevard in Compton, California. For more information, follow them on IG at First Sundays Open Mic.
Yo, this is Jay Slee from Hollywood Unlocked, and even though they extra as hell, check out Never Not Extra on TGN Network.
That's right.
Y'all gotta have notes, cue cards, teleprompter.
Hey, Jackie, what's wrong?
I'm over here running around trying to tell everybody about the Podcast Pit.
What's the Podcast Pit?
I'm glad you asked. The Podcast Pit is an event where you will find some of your favorite podcasts performing in front of a live audience.
Will there be food and drinks there?
Of course there will be. It's at Joxer Dailies in Culver City. They have a full bar and a full menu.
Hey, I may need to tell people about this as well.
Yes, come with me. Let's tell them. The Podcast Pit is coming.
The Podcast Pit is coming. Hey, what's up, business owners? Are you looking to take your business a step forward? Are you looking for more people to know what you have to offer? You are in luck. The Good News Radio has a special deal for you right now. You can get a commercial slot 4 times a day, every day for a month. If you are interested, email contact@tgnradio.net for more information.
Do you want to punch people in the face and not get fired for it? Tune in Monday night for Monday Night Compton Mania, only on the TGN Network. We'll see.
Only on TGN Sports.
Are you looking to buy a home? Are you looking to sell your home? If your answer is yes, call the Walker Group at 310-421-6464. With over 18 years experience, the Walker Group has serviced clients throughout Southern California with their real estate need. Let us be of service to you as well. Once again, call the Walker Group at 310-421-6464 or visit our website at www.exprealty.com. Once again, that's www.exprealty.com.
What up? It's Jay Pinkay from Limelight Live. Make sure you catch us every Thursday at 7 p.m. Pacific Standard.
Hope you guys all enjoyed the commercials. Make sure that you support all the sponsors of the station. Anything that you hear on these commercials, make sure that you go support them in some capacity. I mean, support us, of course, a whole lot more.
Business, get your ass on there too.
But support them. And yes, if you do have a business, bring your ass over for some advertisements and such, some promotions, some exposures. Come on down here. We'll help you out, get you together. Have all the people look at you real nice like. But before we went to the commercial break, I said that I had a different perspective. Now, earlier you talked about like how people can talk to other people can be a reflection of how they talk to themselves, right? We've talked a little bit today about having a delusion that keeps you from accepting a reality that you might need to face. So one thing that kind of came to mind, since people may have a negative attachment style when it comes to accountability. For people that tend to lead with a victim mindset, how would you say that they talk to themselves with that same victim mindset? If everybody else is the problem, everything externally is an issue. Everything externally is the problem. Everything externally is the reason why.
Yeah, that kind of turns into like, usually that's where that gets into that murky area where because I'm obviously very critical of like things everybody posts online, and that's where it gets into that manipulating or turning those self-love posts into ways to just boost your ego. And it gets real dangerous because it's like, you trying to get on, y'all be trying to, people hate that you start to love yourself and be for you. And it's like, people don't hate that. But what you're doing is not self-love. It is ego stroking, because love is also being accountable for the fact that I'm fucking up here. And I swear to God, not that fucking up of like, I should have never talked to that bitch because bitches be. It's like, nah, man, you picked her for a reason. You picked dog for a reason. That was your friend for a reason. Now you did that situation. You did that. And if you were honest with yourself, you'd be like, I was on bullshit from the start. I did this. And then it ain't always like something malicious. I was scared. I was intimidated. I was trying to be sneaky. I was trying to maintain power and control. And sometimes them shits are things that send you down, and it get real funky and weird. So when it starts to be everybody else's problem, that's you trying to, your ego is strong as fuck. That nigga not gonna try to die.
That's you trying to avoid said screw that you talked about before the break and look at all the other issues, right? Because this contraption in front of you that isn't working properly is a reflection of you. The bitches that you mad at should have never dated, she was a reflection of you. The things that you try to put your transgressions onto and say that it's their fault as opposed to your own, they're a reflection of you. Your environment is a reflection of you and your choices and your perspective, your decisions. So even if you are consciously blaming things externally, you are subconsciously understanding that you are part of the problem. But that mindset isn't going to help you fix it. The reciprocal is.
Because that's all that inner conflict. That's 100%. Because your subconscious is strong as shit, bro. Like, what do you like? I know that we are the problem. Or you want to tell me some other shit? Yeah, let's get into it. You're gonna be boxing. I'm gonna be whooping your ass.
Absolutely.
You can tell me. You can say whatever you want to me. You can say whatever you want to to the therapist, to your friend. I don't even understand why it happened like that, because I'm gonna keep it real. Because when I look at it, because to keep it real, and it's like, but you're not though, because what you said at the start, when you said this, absolutely, that got to hear. Why would you think that you could say that, or why would you think that you could do that, and then it's gonna turn out this way? You came in wrong from jump.
And you looked for an out to dance around until somebody finally tripped you up and said, hey, knock it off. Sometimes therapy is that, hey, kids running around the house and grandma trip you. See, that's what your ass get. I told you stop running. Sometimes therapy is that this is you, and I'm going to let you trip yourself up, or I'm going to help put this foot out here and help you realize you are the problem.
It's kind of all it is, man. It is you. Like, it's always you.
Which I had that conversation with somebody this weekend. So similar suggestion as I talked about, not suggestion, similar conversation is what I said before the commercial break, as far as somebody saying therapy doesn't work for them. Like, I'll challenge that. Challenge it a little bit further. And just within 1 to 2 minutes of just like asking questions and pointing out certain things, it's like, oh, it's you. And they just would avoided it. No, it's not, blah, blah, blah. And we were all leaving, so they were getting in the car, and it's like, no, it's you. You can dance around this all you want to, but it's you. Another person had a conversation. I'm starting therapy. Congratulations. I'm super happy for you for starting therapy. This, that, and the other, blah, blah, blah. What are some of the things that you plan on like working on in therapy? What are some of your goals, whatever the case? Even if you haven't established them, you should know before going in what I want to work towards. I don't know. The thing that causes me a lot of trouble and strife and things of that is just people, just human beings in general. They just this, that, and other, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, we'll revisit this conversation in 3 to 4 months and I'll see what your answer is. It's like, I don't get it. Like I'm telling you right now with the no. We'll revisit this conversation 3 to 4 months and I'll see what your answer is. And their friend was like, what is he saying? I explained and I ran it back to him and said what I said. Oh, it's going to be you. Like just letting you know right now, like the answer is you and the answer is going to be you, but that's kind of what he's alluding to. And I was like, I thank you for clarifying that. I wasn't going, because I ain't your therapist and I just met you, so I ain't gonna like go punch you this shit. I'm gonna be nice about it, but your homegirl knows you well enough. She gonna tell you it's gonna be you. But that's still a realization that you have to be led to. Sometimes, like as a therapist or just in general, we can smack people upside the head with the realization that it is you. That doesn't mean they're going to accept it. I can show you the screw that is the problem. That doesn't mean you're going to accept it. I can tell you what's wrong with your engine. That doesn't mean you're going to accept it. At some point, you have to come to this realization on your own. And sometimes people just have to keep, hey, redirect, look over here.
I know that's been one of my frustrations is like, if you talk to somebody, definitely if you talk to somebody that you like care about, but that's one thing where I feel like therapy is necessary, because if you're talking to somebody you care about, you might have a particular insight on the thing. It gets swept into your relationship with that person. So it's like, you're trying to maneuver, you're trying to whatever. And it's like, I'm literally not, I know what I'm talking about. Like that is that, which got to that. And I'm not shitting on you. I'm not trying to talk down to you. What I'm trying to do is give you love. And I'm not even trying to like talk tough to you, but you asked, especially if you asked my opinion, whoa, shit. But that's neither here nor there. But that is like the thing of like, yeah, like it's you. Like even that was something I had to like, because I was one of those like, I'm still one of those like, I hate people thing. You guys get on my nerves. Buttholes.
Human beings are stupid creatures.
Yeah, but I also know that like part of my frustration is like, I am putting an expectation on people to be like, I would really like y'all to not be like, come on, man. Like if we did that, like, okay, even the music thing, I have music talks a lot because everybody love music, but it's like, yo, that boy go. And I'm the one nigga to be in the room like, cool. Come on, man. Like he's dope. Yeah, that boy fire. He's cool. Like it's sonically pleasing. That's my usual, like, come on, man. Like I'm trying to get us the fuck off this topic. I said sonically, I cannot deny. In my ears, when you put the music with the tone of the song, it sounds dope. That shit goes. What are you talking about? Come on, because it ain't. And now we're here.
Why didn't you just say it ain't from the get-go?
That's usually me trying to be nice. I'm trying to be like, it sounds good. He sounds, I can see why you like him sonically. And also that's me also on the back end trying to like get the conversation to separate music. Cause I was like, we can discuss things in their details. Cause I'm also like real particular about feel thing and person thing. Like, it ain't just that. We got to stop, because I feel like that's me trying to like help everybody when I don't need to. Because it's like, you don't have to think about this all in one wop. You can like this of a thing and like this of a thing and understand that this over here is trash. I like this artist. I like what he sounds like, but because this big piece over here or this piece in the middle, that is the general consensus that is fucking with, you know, the mental part, or how I view like the mental part and how it's fucking with brain function, I can't deal with this shit. And also, we're friends, and you've told me a couple things, and I can make a correlation or two. So we should avoid this, because I don't feel like you want to have the conversation the way I want to have it.
Which is kind of tricky when you have to be that person. Sometimes it doesn't get interpreted or perceived as we would like it to, and it turns us into the villain when really we're trying to be like the sidekick to help you out a little bit.
Asshole, condescending, and that's another thing. That's another thought in my head. I'm like, I'd be trying to avoid it, because I'm like, I'm not trying to be the condescending dickhead. So like, I even be trying to now keep up the thing of, do you want to have the conversation, and like, why are we having the conversation? Because if we having it and you come in again, be the villain. Because if you come to talk to me and I'm coming to talk to you and I'm coming to you, like, for everybody, you know, DC is the same friend to each and every. So when I personally go to DC and I'm like, hey, I want to have the conversation, I'm already going in prepared to be the bad guy, because that's what I can't figure out if I'm the bad guy here.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm literally going here so I can know. So you can go, you was cool there, you fucked up here, and you was cool on these last three. Motherfuckers be like, okay, I want to have a conversation, but you're not really looking to be wrong. You're looking to knock out the park. We literally disagree already. Like, you don't want to have a conversation with me, because I've already sat here and figured out where I think you was wrong at. So
having an understanding of somebody's intention when they come to you, because you could say kind of what you just explained. I'm ready to have the conversation, but are you ready to really have the conversation, or are you waiting or expecting for me to validate what you're telling yourself?
Intention, good word, because there we go, because that's a frustration of mine, because I'm like, we don't have to talk, because I can see what your intention is. You don't want to have a conversation about fixing the issue. You don't want to have a conversation about exchanging ideas, or where you could be wrong, where I could be right, or whatever. You trying to fight, and I just would rather fight. Like, I'm you know, I have my moments. I'm about to settle as a shotgun, man. Like, I don't want to do this shit. Like, you did. Don't bullshit me, and I know now for me that's a huge trigger, because like, you trying to fuck with me and I don't like that shit. Like, I would much rather, like, I even like my racists like that. I despise the well, we just need to be inclusive and people of color. Say nigga right now. I don't want no chaser. So I don't like that shit. That's also because like of old niggas in my life though. Like, they just aren't bullshit.
No, I'll say for you, that's because you have a more positive attachment style when it comes to the accountability that we talked about earlier. You have a healthy relationship with accountability, so I don't need all the filler and all the bullshit. Going back to the original analogy of looking in the mirror, seeing the reflection and not being happy with it. A lot of people, the illusion, right? I look in the mirror, I don't like this image that I see. Let me put mounds of makeup and coverall and all this other shit on my face to cover up what I'm unhappy with, as opposed to realizing these dark spots under my eyes. Sometimes that's a kidney function issue. Sometimes that's your liver. Maybe I should pay attention to my internal health. Maybe I should change my diet. Maybe I'm not sleeping enough. Maybe I'm stressing too much. All these things that you need to change about yourself internally in your mindset. You're ignoring all that to let me give myself the delusion.
That's a good analogy, man, because y'all got it. Like, I don't like that shit in real. Like, you're right, because I like the accountability thing. If your hair going back here and you trying to do the hairline thing, get the Beijing, go bald, bro. You look ridiculous. If you trying to, you know, I'm a natural queen and it's 50 pounds, like, obviously you could dog yourself up. It has its little benefits, but if the face on Beyonce and your hands are like Clifton Powell, we're gonna fight. Like, you know, like, yeah, I don't care. Like, you look ridiculous. Like, it's crazy.
Not even that. Because I can understand sticking with the makeup analogy of like having different shades to where there's something that tells me that this is not the real, right? But sometimes people will do kind of like how we have now. We'll fight for inclusive versions of illusions to continue the lie. So you should be able to get this type of makeup that blends better into your skin to where people can't tell. So you still want to avoid actually paying attention to your skin health by looking for a more believable lie. We do that with our mental health a whole lot. We'll continue to fight for more believable lives and delusions as opposed to sticking to focusing on what's actually going to make us better.
And that is why I sincerely despise, and it is bothersome because one, if I don't really know y'all, I don't really care. I don't like the conversations of how they put on us as like a group, because I feel like it obviously affects us as a people. But it'd be some of y'all, a lot of y'all that I know personally. I don't have I got my shit. I don't even have that many people. I know all y'all personally, and except for like, you know, famous accounts that I follow, whatever. But like y'all be up there like, you know, healing is about, like, it was something that I sent you the other day, and it was like it was some goofy shit, and it was like, I'm looking for a love that loves me at my worst and at my this and at my that. And I'm like, y'all say that, and that's what sounds cute. It sounds real poetic, because yes, people are at their worst, so to speak. Everybody's a work in progress. You want this person to grow, but it's like y'all be saying that, but what that means is take me as an just obnoxious, abusive piece of shit, and I never have to fix it. And that's what y'all mean. And we can go to the mats, we can go to the grass. I will literally join up today. Who do I have to talk to get the right purple shirt? Because I'll take everybody to the grass on this topic. Y'all lying, and it doesn't help. Like, that doesn't make any sense.
Continuing the delusion. So going back to this, the self-talk of victimization, right? I victimize conversations with other people, which means I talk to myself as if I'm the victim as well, which means I also don't recognize I want somebody to love me at my worst. True love is going to be showing you the screw and how you fucked up with this said screw and how it's making everything else messed up. I'm telling you this, and I'm sitting here with you because I love you and I want to be able to help you, and I'm willing to support you in fixing it. That's not what you want. You want somebody that's going to stand next to you with the screw in their hand, hold it behind their back and say, you're right. That's the problem. That's the problem. That's the problem. And it's not your fault, baby. I got you. It's okay. And then they go in and put the screw in themselves to try to help things get working. Like, you want somebody to help you keep the delusional lie going as opposed to holding you accountable.
And I'm very okay with screw person is obligated not to go, you goddamn dumb motherfucker.
Absolutely.
Like, you are at, like,
absolutely.
I'm cool with all that. So like, it ain't even like I'm trying to promote, because I be feeling like I be listening to us. I'll be saying the way y'all, because y'all be acting like me and DC come in here and say like, you dirty, dumb, stupid ass. Y'all know. Y'all just be trying to find out, like, y'all didn't say it the most cutesy way, which is what y'all, and this is why I don't say shit the cutesy way, because y'all be using them cutesy posts as ways to lie to yourselves and
delusions.
Yes, like, I'm gonna tell you what it is, and then I'm gonna help you get there. Yeah, fuck with y'all. I ain't finna say like, all right, fix it, dummy. I'll be back tomorrow. Like, yeah, if you fucking with it, cool. I don't ask shit for nobody that I wouldn't give myself.
Mufasa told Simba, don't go to the shadowy place over there. That is a problem. Avoid it. Let's figure out how to maneuver around it. I will keep you protected as long as you stay from over there. We got this. We good to go. What do you do?
The first lesson of this ain't what you want. Like, that ain't, yeah, this is not what you want over here. What did I told you? What did I told you? Crazy.
Yeah, I told you. And that's that. The fear of hearing somebody say, I told you, is what makes a lot of people want to continue the delusion, when in reality, the love that's there isn't saying, see, I told you. It's, hey, look, remember we talked about this right here? We said that this is a problem. Stop focusing on all that other stuff. Remember, this is what you need to focus on here. Redirecting your focus into your actual problem.
I think that sometimes goes back to self-talk and how you talk to others, because sometimes you're not looking for an I told you so. It's because you're an I told you so type of motherfucker.
Absolutely.
If you're somebody who's like, man, you messed up, but, you know, don't do that shit no more, but we can figure this out, you know, solutions like men, like, you know, like, all right, man, you fucked up and that was dumb. You could have done it this way. But we're here now. So we're going to figure out. Cool. If you feel like you're that type of person, you're actively looking like, yeah, I'm trying to figure it out because I definitely fucked up here. But if you know in the back of your mind, oh, somebody came to me with this shit, I'll be like, how the fuck did you, how you going? Why are we spending 30 minutes on how I'm going? I just told you in 30 seconds, I did this, I did that, and it got me to this. This is where I was at. That's a 1 minute thing. I definitely told you how I'm going. I told you how I'm going, and then I told you how I did. Why are you coming back to me? I can't believe Because I just can't understand how you could. I'll never tell you a fucking thing again.
Right.
I would talk to. I'll go to Russia first and try to figure it out over there before I talk to you. Because why are you berating me for 45 minutes?
A response. You came at me not being solution oriented, not being empathetic, not being all the things that I needed when I came to you for safety and support. And you treated me a certain way, which makes me say automatically, I'm not doing this anymore. But you do the same thing to yourself. You talk to yourself in the same way, which makes you subconsciously say, I'm not coming to this space anymore. I'm going to continue to avoid it, put sugar on it, and stay over here in this left side of the brain or right side of the brain, because, you know, let me focus on that. That feels better, because being over here don't feel good. So let me avoid the reality of what it is.
Yeah, you 5 minutes. Yeah, like think about you 5 minutes up the road. You left some. I thought, you stupid fucking idiot.
God, I'm fucking stupid. Left my goddamn keys.
Damn, I left that shit at the house. That sucks. Shit, I'll be right now. Be a little late. And then go get that shit. Like if those moments, I'd be really like hyper aware of them shits. I'm like, yo, that was a lot. Like that was a lot. You didn't have to do that. Like that was crazy.
Goddamn kids being late, doing all this other stuff made me forget my keys. Now I have to go back to the house. Why are you blaming the kids?
I even said that shit yesterday. I'm not gonna get too into it, but there was a situation at work, and the client was all of like 6, and it was just like the way it escalated. I'm like, yeah, he was whatever, but also he's 6, and the way that you went from this to this, you're crazy, bro. Well, they don't be talking like in a regular untraumatized 6-year-old is a 6-year-old. I'm gonna spill shit. I'm gonna kick shit. I'm gonna throw shit. Which also be like, because y'all be posting all this shit about like kids are this and they be nasty. Oh my God, that's my. And then when they do the kid stuff, it ain't none of that hard eyes shit that y'all be posting on y'all stories and shit. It is this mother because all these people are like moms twice over or like grandmothers. So I'm like, what y'all be doing with y'all own? Because like this really is. You did some regular kids. Like it was angry, but it was regular kid. It wasn't even like trauma. It was just like, oh, he was being bad, like legit just being bad. And I'm just like, y'all scary as shit to me because where this is at, it had no reason to get.
But that goes back to that's letting me know how you talk to yourself. Because when you are I'm on my healing journey and you end up doing some not healing type stuff where I fell back into an old cycle and made a bad decision, you're going to talk to yourself the same way that you're going to talk to a 6-year-old. This person is going through something. They are at a space where they are unhealed. They are going through a transition. They are trying to progress. They are trying to become better. And they did exactly what they're supposed to do, which was be imperfect.
Y'all got to start understanding like the healing shit. I like the quotes and shit. And that's eventually how it can end up feeling. But there's a good part. I don't care what your journey is, bro. There is a part of journey where healing shows up with it and does its best Mike Tyson impression. Healing and growth show up as Mike Tyson.
Young Mike.
Young Mike. And then behind that was like healing. And then behind healing is growth. And growth is Heihachi Mishima. Y'all look it up. Tekken. Big dude with the bald spot. Ball gang. And then after, that's what growth looked like. And they on your ass. After that, though, you know, for that particular instance, I also don't like that thing of like healing, like, you know, turns into just like fruits and berries afterwards. Healing is always, I feel like there's always healing and growth is always Mike Tyson and Heihachi. It's just you learn how to fight better, so they just stop whooping your ass. Like like
instead of you thinking that they're attacking you all the time, you realize that they are your sparring partners and they're training you to get better.
Yep, you start that journey, you up here lumped up looking like Martin. You get a little deeper in the journey, all of a sudden you tired, and you be like, that was a good fight. I'm gonna see y'all next time.
Whatever. Not even that, you may go out to eat with them afterwards. They may take you out to eat. Like we're so proud of the progress that you've made. We've been whooping your ass for this long, and now you can actually get with us. We are exceptionally proud of you for facing us.
I'll go eat with Mike though. Heihachi might not.
Yeah, no, that he's going to continue to try to abuse you as much as possible. Yeah. He gonna keep. I'm only here for the ass whooping. Him and Baki Daddy, like they just.
I don't know, man. Baki's Daddy seemed cool. Like
if you can keep up.
Yeah, if you it's one if you can keep up, or on the flip side, if he just doesn't register you as a threat, because that's one thing. I don't know if they'll probably get to it in the anime, but in the manga, like they make this weird. It's very like he's so aggressively masculine that anything under him is perceived as feminine, and then it's as weird as you think it could go, it got that weird.
Mhm.
And he said it with he's like, I will absolutely like do you up because none of you niggas is me. But then he goes and like one punches an elephant, so like it gets weird. But like,
I mean, they kind of tapped into that on the show as far as him taking out massive animals barehanded.
oh yeah, they just haven't got to the scene where he's like, it gets crazy. There's a dude who's like a mad, like one of those like explorer people. He climbed Mount Everest and he lives his life on the edge, solely trying to live up to a level of masculinity because the first time he ran across Baki Daddy Yuji Hanma, and it was just like he like was like, you so not me that you are a girl in my mind and I'm in the mood. And then it got crazy.
So his internal narrative.
I'm the manliest thing on the planet.
Well, no, his internal narrative was detrimental to himself.
Yeah.
I had this one negative experience and I wasn't able to validate myself. I took on the narrative of what was told to me. I am not man enough, so I must continue to do all these things to risk my life to finally become the level of acceptable man. But I'm never going to reach the level of acceptable man because I don't accept me.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like Buddy pulling up on you just in the middle of like the countryside and just like, well, we're here now. Probably do that to you because at least you could just whoop my ass, my guy. Like, you didn't have to do that.
I mean, you can accept who you are. Cause say you come across Young Mike and Young Mike whoop your ass. That's Young Mike. That don't change me. I have great ability. I'm still a great person. I can still do this. I can still do that. But in this area, I tried to give my best, but that's still greatness right there that I cannot compete with. And that's okay. I can try, but that doesn't mean I have to demoralize myself with this internal narrative to like make myself go nuts. But in the spirit of mental health week, people, please check your internal narrative. Please avoid the delusions that you may tell yourself that keep you from achieving your best self. Please don't attack individuals that may be trying to support you or help you or hold you accountable by thinking that, you know, they are your enemy when really they are your sparring partner in your journey of life and they want to see you better yourself. Just by all means, take a different perspective on how you perceive things, please, for your own betterment.
Be the bad guy. I can't stress that enough that like
I accept that I'm the asshole just to get it out the way. Yes, I'm the asshole. Okay, great. So what's the solution here? Let's talk about it.
yeah, that's it. Like it's not even you just did something. Like you did something very important and integral to the problem, and then figure it out and be patient with yourself. I don't want to be like, yeah, don't be like, I'm patient, damn near to a fault, but like, yeah, but yeah, like it don't have to be done tomorrow. It has to be done, but it'll be done at a good pace if you like taking your time that you need to take with it.
Right.
Don't fuck around with it, but like don't put yourself on like a weird time set. That's all I got. Whoa, did it cut off?
It did.
Oh, good, we're done. You guys on YouTube get so much like extra.
Yeah, you guys get an extra couple minutes.
That should be on like, be like, we guys were talking. It was like, boop, boop. All right, man. He's got an album coming out, and I'm gonna buy it.
As you should.
Because
you don't really have to buy it.
I'm gonna stream it.
Yeah, I'll stream it. Shout out to everyone that participated in both sets of chats. We appreciate you. Thank you for tuning in and watching the show. Tune in next week, same time, same place, same app, same streaming device, whatever it is you're trying to utilize. We love y'all.
Now you crash your Ferrari for Lucky Bona. Now some money remake could have been all over. My feelings today swing.